Vasby cannot understand. Only puddles remain in the Adeptorium cisterns, but still Silojo forbids this one to act. Our Adeptorium, Srendar's cradle, is parched by a drought. We rely on the Anequina aqueduct to supply our water, but something halted the flow. Now adepts and pilgrims go thirsty. We tend to the sick here. Without water, many of them may die. No, and we never will if Silujo gets his way. He yowls about the risks, but Vasby is not the saucer-eyed kitten she was when Silujo found her. This one must fix this. You're a warrior, yes? Would you escort Vasby to investigate the aqueduct? Thank you for helping, Rook. We should investigate the nearest gate of the aqueduct, just south of here. Srendar willing, we will find whatever blocks the water there. Vasby will meet you soon. This one must speak to Silujo before she leaves. No. My teachers examined the Order's histories and found no evidence of droughts in the past. But we live in curious times, yes? Dragons fly, dead walk. A broken aqueduct would not seem out of place. Vasby does not think so. Before the water reaches Srendar's cradle, it passes Rimen. And for all the city's problems, a drought is not one of them. That means the flow is blocked somewhere between the city and the Adeptorium. I have found it! We should examine the gate at the top of the ramp. Open and dry, as expected. Hopefully we'll find the blockage at the second gate. Vasby hopes we can find the problem soon. Otherwise we may have to investigate the Bandar span. A portion of the aqueduct that runs through Bandar's litter. A canyon to the east of the Adeptorium. Silujo forbids us to go there, ever since this one was a Jakajit. Vasby does not know. She has, at times, heard whispers from the older adepts. Something about the Nahatan flu. This one asked Silujo outright about the place years ago. He only shook his head and said it was far, far from Srendar's light. Vasby will be right behind you, but be careful, Walker. Silujo can be overprotective, but he would not resort to lies to hold us back. The dangers of the wastes are real, as you know. Truly, I hate to worry him, but Vasby must do this. Caught you! Vasby is a quick study, yes? Let's examine this new gate. Dry. Zispo. Wait, what is this? Curious. This scrap of cloth. Vasby knows it well. It is part of a Srendar adept's habit. One of the old ones we don't wear anymore. Could an adept have been out here? Vasby does not think anyone wore it. The way it is torn, it looks like someone used it to dress a wound. Do you see the stains? This one smells blood, too. A warning, perhaps. Or a clue. Maybe. Vasby is no investigator, but finding something like this near the gate feels like a sign. We should find the person, if only to make sure they are not badly hurt, yes? We could start by searching around the columns that hold the aqueduct up. Someone gravely injured may have rested in the structure's shadow. No time to waste, Walker. Let's go. Certain. After the worst of the Nahatan flu had passed, Siludjo and the others burned every scrap of cloth touched by the illness. Quilts, linens, and yes, even their habits. Nothing remained of them, aside from paintings in the cloisters. It appears that way, yes. Come, whoever this belonged to may need our help. Another shred of a habit? The blood seems more spotty. From a sore, maybe. Let's keep looking. The blood trail goes cold, yes? But what is that? A cameo? The face looks... This was not dropped by accident, Walker. There must be more to find. This is a nursery rhyme, isn't it? Like the one Busby read every night as a kitten. Srendar's Mercy. Please hurry, Walker! Swaddlecloth? Busby recognizes that pattern. Come, let's keep looking, come! And we find a death coin lost, of course. Something that gleams to take to the sands behind the stars. We should talk. The bloody bandages, the cameo, and swaddlecloth. All these trinkets and mementos lead to a forbidden place. Bandar's litter. Busby has not been totally honest with you, Walker. This one has a very personal stake in this business. The drought. It's because of me. That is why Vasby insisted on being the one to investigate. Every year, on this one's birthday, someone leaves a gift outside the cloisters. Gifts like the nursery rhyme, coin, and cameo we found, you see? Days after the aqueduct ran dry, The gift giver left a jug of cold, fresh water outside this one's door. It was a message, you see, for Vasby. Now we find these dressings and keepsakes, all leading to Bandar's litter. Our answers are there. Old ghosts haunt this place. Angry spirits that moan and howl curses in the night. Silujo always insisted we stay away. I hate to disobey him, but we have no choice. The last sluice gate and the person we pursue are both inside. Are you prepared? Wait! Vasby saw someone! Why do they run? We do not mean them any harm. There they go. Is that the same one as before?
Where's Vasby? Beloved child. Finally you have come home at last.
What? I don't... We only want to restore the water.
Water? No, never. Answers, child. Answers from ashes. Take up to our camp at the Bandar Gate. Kill the other filthy flame. The scouring fire will claim Sarindar's cradle soon enough.
Quickly! Over here! Silujo saw everything. We must save Vasby. Quickly, please! I may not be Vasby's father, but I feel a father's love for her. What parent would let their child wander the Kaj with a stranger? Silujo followed at a distance, but could not stop Vasby in time. The stricken cats took her deeper into the canyon. The flu. Time heals some wounds and causes others to fester. Sometimes even the greatest healer cannot see all ends. Forgive me. Silujo is an old cat. He rambles. We must go to the Bandar Gate to halt the flames and save my Vasby. There is a cavern deep within the litter. If memory serves, it ascends. Silujo will try to make these sick, scarred cats see reason. To cure a sickness, a healer must know the ailment's cause. Old hatreds are not so different. We lose time discussing this. Have faith that all will proceed as Srendar wishes. These sick, scarred, you see, we call them the stricken. After the Nahatan flu ravaged their bodies, the people of Elsweyr cast them out. They came to Srendar's cradle once for healing, but the king's vizier would have put our adeptorium to the torch if he knew we harbored the sick. You should know the reason they hate us. It is my fault. They wish to burn our home because I cast them into Bandar's litter to die. Wait, Silujo must speak to you. Before we go further, we must speak. The Bandar Gate lies beyond that door. The Stricken's leader as well, Busby's true father. His love and sorrow has turned to hatred for me. Silujo has no illusions. Death waits for this one through this passage, for the actions of his past. Silujo does not fear this death, if it will save Vasby. Before it happens, though, this one must ask. You now know the story of Srendar's cradle, of the sick left to die. When this one is gone, Vasby will have questions. What will you tell her? Silujo thanks you, Walker. Choosing who lives and who dies weighs on the soul, but as a healer and a leader, I must make hard decisions. If Silujo had to do it all over again, he would make the same choice. Now come, Busby waits. Busby, you are unharmed, yes?
No. My daughter is no longer yours to corrupt at death.
No!
You think you can keep me from my vengeance? Come, dear.
Silujo, no! This is my fault. Srendar, forgive me. He breathes, but faintly. Busby will take him back to the cradle. My hands won't stop shaking. The Stricken's leader, Hulzar, wields horrible magic. He told me that the adepts took me from him, that they stole everything from him. He said his... Yes, he said he left me gifts so that I would not forget him. But seeing me grow closer to Silujo, closer to the Order, twisted his tail to the breaking point. He lured Busby here to Bandar's litter. Now he plans to burn the Adeptorium. Please, Walker, if there is any way to spare Hulzar, have mercy. Busby knows he is mad, but to lose two fathers at once... Srendar, help me. This one is so lost. Moons. Why did Silujo come here? He must have known the Stricken would kill him. This one only needed saving because she disobeyed Silujo. He came here because of Busby. He dies because of Busby. This one knows. Hulza told me about how he and his wife, my mother, came to the cradle with a tiny Busby in their arms. He described the long march to Bandar's litter and the cold, moonless nights that followed. More suffering on my account. How could it not be Busby's fault? Had Hulza's wife not carried Busby in her womb, they never would have come to Srendar's cradle. Had Busby not sought to restore the water, Silujo would live. Please, just find Hulzar. Busby must work.
You think you can keep me from my vengeance? Come, dear. Keep me from my vengeance. Come thee.
You return. Good. Vasby already loses too much today. Silojo did not... Vasby could not... He is gone. His soul wanders the sands behind the stars now. The other adepts mourn for him as Vasby does, but they do not know the truth of his death or the cost of the water you restored. But you know. Vasby knows. And it may be too much for her to bear. Vasby loved this place. She idolized Silojo and the other healers. She prayed to Srendar for the strength and wisdom to serve as well as those who came before. But Srendar's cradle is a lie. My dream is a lie. What is Vasby to do now? The people of Elsweyr think that the adepts of the cradle worked miracles to stave off the flu. Now I see that they only hid the sick in the wilderness to let them die. How can this one just ignore that? How can I dedicate my life to such a place? Yes, this one will stay. But I will not lie about what happened here. Silojo made an impossible choice, but the people deserve to hear the truth. Thank you, Walker. We only just met, but you are the closest thing to family that Vasby has left. Brothers, sisters, Vasby must speak about Silojo's passing. Before he passed, this one learned the truth of the stricken, of the role we healers played in their suffering. No longer. In Shrendar's name, we must go to Bandar's litter. We must help the stricken, and we must try to heal this age-old wound, for their sake and for ours.
Perhaps a direct approach would be the best. You wouldn't happen to be traveling to the town of Hakoshey, would you? I'm investigating a rumor about the town's leader, Magnate Fena Darak. Word has it that she's a descendant of the Akaviri potentate. A rather curious rumor, given that the potentate's bloodline should have been wiped out over a century ago. It's a personal matter pertaining to my grandfather's legacy. Painful as it is to say, my family's reputation depends on proving this rumor false. You wouldn't happen to be looking for work, would you? I could use a... Why don't you begin by speaking to the lady in question? The magnate should be in the town square. Strike up a conversation and see what she reveals. In the meantime, I'll begin my own investigation. See what I can dig up. As an agent of the Morag Tong, my grandfather had the honor of executing the last remaining heir of the Akaviri potentate. But here's the tricky bit. My grandfather and the heir both disappeared during the attempt. The Morag Tong presumed them dead. If Magnate Fena Darak truly is the descendant of the potentate, it proves without a shadow of a doubt that my grandfather failed. And such failure would be a grave dishonor to my family name. That's why I'm keen to prove this rumor false.
I haven't been able to sleep all week. Please, can't you do something?
Of course. I'll have the town guards investigate tonight.
Thank you, Magnate Fena Darak.
And who do we have here? Come, let us speak. Welcome to the town of Hakoshey. I must say it is not often I see a new face. Have you perhaps come to take part in our festival? The Proving Festival, yes. Through a series of trials, the people of Hakoshey must prove themselves to their ancestors. We do so by completing 3 trials, otherwise known as the 3 proofs. First, the proof of reference calls on our ancestors to witness our deeds. Second, the proof of strength displays our might and bravery. Lastly, the proof of wisdom tests our knowledge and wit. Through these trials, we show our worth. Of course, I'm sure you too have ancestors you wish to honor. First, you must speak with Domitia Nasica. You'll find her just by the river. Listen well. Let me know if you have any other questions. I realize that Hakoshey can be quite the curiosity for travelers such as yourself. Nothing to worry about. Domitia just hasn't been sleeping well. She believes there's something prowling around her house at night. I suspect it to be just bad dreams. Of course, I'd never dismiss a citizen who seeks my aid. Having the town guards investigate will help ease Domitia's fears. That alone may be enough to stop her nightmares. And if the dreams continue, I'll make sure she's seen by a healer.
Oh, you're that traveler I saw earlier. Do you need something? Truly? That was certainly nice of her. Your first step is to complete the proof of reverence. This trial allows us to call upon our ancestors to watch over us, as we prove ourselves worthy of their name. With this paper lotus, write the names of your honored ancestors on its petals, and place the lotus in the river. This will allow it to float into the afterlife. Think of it like a calling card, a way to get your ancestors to pay attention. Return to me when you've completed your task. Oh, and feel free to ask any questions you may have. This is Hakoshei's first proving festival in over a century, after all. I'm sure you're just as curious as everyone else. Excited, of course. Honestly, I'm shocked we gave up the tradition in the first place. No one even remembered the festival existed until the magnate found an old record about it. Our town doesn't have much wealth or power, but we do take pride in our ancestry. Learning about our Akaviri culture and celebrating it is important to us. And the Proving Festival is the perfect way to do just that. Before we can prove ourselves to our ancestors, we must first get their attention. The paper lotus acts as a ceremonial letter of sorts. By placing it into the river, we allow it to be carried into the realm of the dead. Yes, it is. The Akaviri believe that all waterways connect the realms of the living and dead. There are many folktales about boats being lost in heavy fog, and landing on shores filled with restless spirits. I used to, when I was little. Whenever I would go jump in a puddle, my mother would yell, "Stop that! You'll fall right into the afterlife." Truthfully, though, she just didn't want my dress to get muddy. Through this proof, you have shown reverence. Well done. Next is the proof of strength. You'll need to... I'm sorry. I'm just so tired today. There's been a lot of strange noises at night lately, and I haven't slept very well. You overheard that? Ah, well, yes. I've started hearing noises at night. Heavy breathing, uneven footsteps that seem to shuffle about. At first I thought I was dreaming it all, but now I am not too sure. I don't, though the magnate has promised to send a patrol out tonight. Hopefully they'll find whatever it is. But you've got a proof to complete. Head over to Vectrasi for your next task. He's just a little ways west of here, right up the hill. Good luck with the proof of strength, and let me know if you need anything.
What can I do for you, traveler? You wish to prove yourself before your ancestors. Very well. To the north lies a cave wherein beautiful sugar daisies grow. Bring me one, and you will have proved your strength. Ah, didn't I mention? The cave also happens to be a Sench lion lair, and I doubt the beast will be particularly fond of your intrusion. Best of luck, traveler. Make sure to keep your senses about you. Sench lions aren't beasts to take lightly.